Hello everyone, I am Reverend Gartlyn Chance, pastor of the Holistic Transformation Ministries at Louis. This is a branch work of the Calvary Road Deliverance Tabernacle under the umbrella of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies. I am also a special education teacher, having taught for 34 years of my life. Bridging the Gaps will be aired on the Tobago Inspirational Network every Saturday at 8 p.m. The program is expected to keep you at the edge of your seat. Join us as we deal with issues relating to the stages of early childhood to adolescence. A pleasant good evening to you, beautiful viewers again. It's a pleasure to have you on set with me for another episode of Bridging the Gap. As you know, on this program, we try to make sure that we connect with the youth, children, and right up to the age of the adolescent age. On set with me this evening is a beautiful young lady. I'll give you her name. Her name is Denicia Boyce. Denicia just completed secondary school, the 5th form level. And might I tell you that she is a brilliant, or might I say an intelligent student. She was one of the valedictorians of her graduating class. A pleasant good evening to you, Denicia. Welcome on set with me.
Good evening.
Okay, tell me something. How do you feel about being here?
I'm excited to be here, to give knowledge to somebody out there.
Okay. Okay, tell me something that you would like to tell us about yourself.
Well, I am the second child for both parents.
Okay.
I am currently the secretary and PRO for my church youth group. I am also the secretary for my student council at school. And yeah.
Okay, we heard that, right? So Denicia is doing a wonderful job. Most of all, she is serving the Lord. Water baptized and Holy Ghost filled, and she's serving the Lord. Now today, as you know, Denicia, we're talking about bridging the gap. There's a gap between our age group, but we want to make sure that we are connected. And let me just share a little thing with you. She's a member of our church. She's a member of the Holistic Transformation Ministries. Very talented, very intelligent. But we want to speak to the youths concerning keeping connected. We don't want to be together in different areas and we're not connecting. So we want to connect. We want to understand the things that we must do to make sure that you want to be around us. We want you around us, and we want you to want us around you. So I want you to start by telling me something about your relationship with the adults in your family.
Well, growing up, the relationship with my parents was a fun one because, as I said, I was the second child.
Okay.
So at that age, well, my sister was already a teen, so she had more leeway, for lack of a better word, to go and come with permission, of course. So I was the center of attention for both parents at that point in time, because my little sister wasn't in the pictures yet. So it was fun. We went places, had more attention, used to talk more. But going into secondary school, that kind of changed because I had more responsibility and more things to do. So, and they were hard on me in terms of the things they expected me to do because I was getting older. So, it's still a okay relationship between them.
All right.
But no problems.
Okay, so so during that time you were the center of attraction.
Yes.
And you enjoy being around mommy and daddy.
Yes.
And you had a big sister, so you were the baby in the family,
Yes.
so you were the one.
Yes.
Okay, you said when you entered secondary school, things changed a bit. In what way? Is it that you became close? You said you had a lot of other activities that you were involved in. Okay. Did you pull to your peers or something like that a bit more?
Yeah.
Or you prefer to be with your friends, you know?
Yeah, I did. Because, teens, we think we know everything at that age.
I like how you said, I like how she said that, viewer. She said she thinks that she knows, they think that they know everything. Okay, what about the relationship with the adults at school, your teachers and the other workers at school?
We have a respectable relationship.
All right, okay, that's important.
I have one or two role models at school in form of teachers who themselves are Christians, so they help me in school.
Okay.
Not to stray from
all right, they
God.
keep you in check.
Yeah.
All right, and that's important.
Yeah.
What about mommy and they involved in? Well, I know daddy died some years ago, and that was a very hard experience for you, but you've bounced back really, really well, very resilient. God was there for you, and you know, even though you have the memories, and there's a saying that bygone experiences are never lost in truth. They grow more wonderful within the heart that keeps them, and it's important to know that God is your Father. You have a Father in God. God has been there for you and really brought you through, and the entire family, that experience has really brought you all through that experience. You said that within the family, when you were younger, the relationship was very close. But now there is a little, could I refer to it as a gap?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a little gap there possibly because of the age group as well. And the experiences, the peer group and that kind of thing. What are some things that you would like to share with your mother? And your sister is a police, I know. And they're usually very strict and straight because they know what is happening in society, especially as it relates to the youth. What are some things you would like to share with your mother and your police sister that will facilitate a closer relationship?
I think spending more time and listening to some of the things we have to say.
Okay.
Yes, there's a age group difference, but listening to what we have to say and not always talking from an adult point of view.
Okay.
I think that may help.
All right. So you're saying that you think that they should be able to put themselves in your position.
Yeah.
And to talk from a teenage point of view. All right, so the barrier there is a communication barrier, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's what you are suggesting. What do adults in the family, what I want you to be a little bit more specific. What do adults in the family do to prevent you from really opening up and sharing your heart to them? How come you're not telling them this? What are some things that they do, you think? And it may not only be in your family, because we look in generally, that you think adults do to prevent, youths like you from opening up to them.
I think the biggest thing is confidentiality. Because when they tell them something, they tell granny and they tell uncle and they tell everybody else, when they just want it to be between each other. So I think confidentiality is the biggest problem. Okay.
So you believe that, and I am receiving that information. I am receiving. Parents and adults out there, I hope you are receiving the information. The young lady is saying that one thing that prevents them from sharing their heart to the adults is confidentiality, lack of confidentiality. She's saying that when they share things with us, that we tell other adults in the family because we are looking for support, I suppose. Okay, Denise, what advice do you have for parents and adult family members to encourage a better relationship? One that will encourage you to spend more time, to interact, to socialize, rather than to resent their company and preferring to spend more time with your peers.
I think they need to listen to us, as I said before, because sometimes they just don't listen. And that's where the peers come in. The peers, we go sit down and we go talk, and sometimes the peers going through these similar situations, so we could sit down and talk to the peers, whereas the parents, they're not around with age, so sometimes they need to enter our little world as teens to understand better, to communicate better.
Okay. I particularly rephrase the question. So I asked you the same question twice to really hear what your answer would be, and you maintain that it's communication. And you just said that you would like them to enter into your little world. I'm trying to understand. You would like us to enter into your world. We were young like you at some point in time, but the generation has changed. Things have changed. The things that you are exposed to now, we were not exposed to. You know in our times, Denicia, when we were younger, like when I was around your age at 16, I felt the same way at times. I felt that my parents were not listening to me, that I prefer to be with my friends. It's a stage that all of us go through. The experience that you are going through now, although it may not be the exact thing, we went through it as well. But I want you to be honest and tell me, see if you could get it from within you. What drives you to gravitate to your peer group to socialize that is really missing from the adults in your life? What it is in your peer group that drives you to gravitate to them? You said there is a communication barrier with the adults. But what you think is really missing that really drives you to your peers?
The same thing, the communication.
Okay. So you find it's easier for your peers for you to communicate with your peers?
Yeah.
Is it because you all have the same desires,
I believe so.
You understand each other better?
Yeah.
You see eye to eye? Okay.
And most times we want to, how to put it, we want a little freedom. Anything.
And when you say freedom, what do you mean? What are some of the things that you want to do? You said it's because you want freedom. So you feel as if you're in bondage at home?
Yeah, freedom to express yourself,
You sure it's just to express?
Well, for me, yeah, just to express yourself.
To express in what way? To talk?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not talking about going out?
No.
Going to places?
No, I have freedom to do that, well, with permission, but no freedom to express yourself more.
Okay, so is it that you find that the adults do not allow you the freedom? Do they shut you up? Apart from the fact that they would share it with somebody else, is it that they shut you up when you speak?
They probably don't realize they're doing it, but yes, like if
Give me some examples, like
if you wanna talk about what happened, they'll be like, say for instance, you probably had a fight, and you just want to share it. They will interrupt and be like, I hope you're not being the one, you can't come along in my place doing them kind of thing. And
okay. So you feel that sometimes they judge you?
Yeah.
Okay, based on other situations that you would have experienced. Okay, you said a fight. So they will come out and start, right away they will start scold you. I hope you're not involved in that,
Yes.
Okay, so you prefer that they will sit and you will exchange ideas, you will share it with them, and they will understand, and you will just talk. And so you find at any point in time during the conversation that they could tell you, you know, it's okay if they tell you, well, that isn't something that you should be involved in. And
yeah, but not just like interrupt the fact that trying to express myself and I'm going to do such.
okay, I'm getting you because I'm learning from you. You need us to listen. Communication needs attention. You want them to give you their undivided attention.
Yep.
You must not be interrupted when you speak into them because you don't feel as if the message is going across to them. Very, very important point. Very, very important point. And I hope that those who are listening, the adults who are listening, that they are learning, because many of us have the same problems with our children. But one of the things, though, Denicia, that would cause some parents and some guardians are very concerned about their children being engaged in negative groups because of what is happening in the society today. It is so different from when we were young. The trends, many are involved in immorality, and our young people are being destroyed. Just recently, we heard about the young boy who was caught. I think they locked him up. And so the boy who, well, I'm not sure that he did kill the young girl that he was probably having an affair with, but so many of our children are involved in, you know, a lot of things that parents are afraid, and perhaps that's that's one of the reasons why they are so concerned, that when you come home and you tell them about these things that are happening in school, that they get scared. It scares them, and the first thing they think about doing is to try to prevent you from being involved in it. But as you said before, or the parents, you said we're not listening to you. We're not giving you an ear. We talk too much. That's what you're saying. We talk too much. We are always talking down to you, and you don't want that. You want us to share conversation with each other, that we could have a good communication with each other. You said that you prefer to go to your peers because your peers will listen. And that's one point, that they will listen and you feel as if you are more accepted by them. But do you believe that your peers are mature enough to give you advice?
I don't think so. But we gravitate towards them because same age group, more or less, yeah.
You all have something in common.
Yeah.
Same age group, the same problems, you think? Some of you.
Yeah.
Do you hear others around your age, perhaps within your class, or, you know, or those at church, do you hear them sharing the same views?
Most of the times, yeah.
So then we have a big problem with communication in our society with regards to adults and the younger ones.
Yeah.
All right. You said that your peers are not mature. You don't think your peers are mature enough to give you advice. So then, if the young people are gravitating to their peers, who they feel more comfortable communicating with, is that a big problem in our society then? Because it means that the person who would give you advice would be your peers. And how many of the young people are gravitating to peers that know the word, that are believers? You know, I want to refer to a scripture that I always refer to at church. You know where I'm going, right? Let me see if you remember where I'm going. Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. So we have a big problem there. I mean, parents, we've got to hear them. If she's saying that they cannot communicate with us, it means that they will not be getting as much advice as they should from us. I mean, what we have to do is to be able to exemplify it as adults. I'm speaking to the adults in TV land, you know. We have to exemplify it. We have to live it. But according to Denicia, they gravitate into their peers. It therefore means that the peers are the ones that are advising them. Some of them are ungodly, and that could be some of the reasons why we have so many problems in our society. But apart from gravitating to your peers, what about that little rectangular box that you all are always using your fingers to pick the knobs? Is it that the fact that the communication barrier is there between you and the adults in your family and thing and school or wherever, that you're being driven to that as well?
Yeah, because...
Are you getting some of your advice from that as well? Share it with us.
I mean, we live in a technological...
Okay.
So everybody have a cell phone, everybody have a tablet. I mean, not everything on the phone or tablet good, but you could download proper apps like the Bible, stuff related to God. I have my Bible on my phone, so it makes it easier. The YouVersion Bible app, it helps you communicate with other Christians around the world.
Okay, and that's good.
So that's how you
share a little bit more of that with me. What did you call it?
The YouVersion Bible app.
The YouVersion Bible
app. Yeah.
Okay.
It helps you communicate with Christians around the world. It gives you daily scriptures to read. It's fun. It makes it fun for me as a youth to gravitate towards the Word of God more. And I think youths should start using it because it's a fun way to learn the Bible, not just sit down with a little Bible in your hand and just learning it off the top of your head. It makes it fun for you to know the Word of God.
All right. Do you share that with your peers?
Yeah, I share it with the youth group at church, even the ones at school. Yeah.
Okay, but you all didn't share it with the pastor? the pastor didn't hear that one, I don't think.
No, I don't think we share it with
That's a good thing. And what about if you share that with your mom and your sister, and you interact with each other by using that app? You think that will work?
I share it with my sister, but she has a busy schedule.
Okay, so the other thing...
Her hours doesn't always work with my hours.
Okay. So that's another problem that you're finding with the adults and the youth.
Yeah,
a problem of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're asking for communication, open communication, and you're asking for more time. I want us to go back to where we spoke about the youths, your peers. You said no, they're not able to give you you don't think that they are able to give you the advice that you should get. How do you think you could then deal with this problem? Because you need advice as a young person growing up.
For instance, look, I have a role model as a teacher, Christian role model as a teacher. And I think if some of my peers develop a role model at school in form of a teacher, because most of our time is in school. So if you develop someone you could communicate with good, an adult at school, you could get good advice from that adult.
Okay. Now I'm learning something else from you. It's not all adults that present with this problem, that they're not communicating. So you have adults that you can communicate with, right? And that is a message that we must send to the youth out there. That's a message that we must send to them. That they need to understand that as a very young person, your age, they're not able to give you the advice sometimes, the wise advice that you may need to get. So you will have to find somebody. You can find somebody, as you said, within the school environment. As in your case, you are a believer, a Christian. So you find a Christian role model. Within the school, within the home or the family, you can also find one, because you really need we really need to connect, because we have been along the road already. We have gone through the route, right? It's a journey of life. And when you reach my age, I'm not going to share it, right? When you reach my age, it means that you have had some experiences that we could share with you so that you can learn from. So that's a message that you're giving to the youth. They must have somebody that they could use as a role model, that if you have an issue, you could go to and talk to. And I'm putting you on the spot. Do you find I'm a person that you could that you could come to and share experiences at times?
Yeah, I could come to you now.
Don't tell me that because you're in front of my face. Viewer, she really does come and talk to me at times, and I enjoy speaking with the youths. Now, you must have some advice just before we go for adults. There is need for there is a drastic need for the adults to change their communication approaches to the youths or with the youths. What advice as a young person do you have for us? You know, you need to tell us, look, people, you all need to change. We need you because we need to get advice from you, therefore you need to change your approaches. Tell us what you want. Don't be afraid.
We want confidentiality when we come to audio.
Okay, she's saying that we talk too much. So she wants confidentiality. They need to understand that we are going to keep what they tell us. Go ahead.
And openness, that we could come to you and talk to you about anything.
Any
respectful,
issue.
of course.
Okay.
But openness. And just
Okay.
listen to what we have to
Okay.
say.
So you want us to give her ear.
Mhm.
You want confidentiality, and you want openness, that we could discuss any issue without us having to judge you. Fair enough, and I'm sure that they heard that. So that is what you say. You are saying would really help to bridge the gap between the adults and the youth. Well said. Gives us food for thought. Gives us food for thought. And you listeners, I am sure that you heard the young lady. Now my responsibility is to have them share their views, because we want to connect. We want to be able to understand each other. And that's what I'm trying to bring out in them. I'm asking questions so that I could get them to share their heart. She knows that I gave her, and I only heard her, she only shared today because I listened to her without judging her. And that's what they want us to do. You know, as I said before, Titus speaks of the older women teaching the younger ones. If they do not trust us, they are not going to share their hearts with us, and they are not going to listen to us. So we want to create an environment of trust. Confidentiality was one of her biggest issue, and perhaps it's the issue of others as well. You know, we have I myself am guilty of that. My daughter telling me something, and I may go tell my husband, and sometimes I'm so angry I may tell my sister or somebody, and that's something that they do not want. I really do appreciate you, Denicia. You were very open, and we have learned a lot from you sharing with us today. I thank you for being my guest on the program.
Thanks for having me.
We are going to look at different ways, because we want to hear you, and then we're going to look at different ways on the program of dealing with the issues that you mentioned. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's about us and having a relationship, because the idea is to bridge the gap so that the legacy could be passed on to the next generation. Have a wonderful rest of the holidays, and I know that you're going to be successful in your CSEC. You told me the other day that you were scared. God is good. You did the work already, and the results is there. So may God continue to bless you as you seek to live a life that is pleasing to Him. I thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, viewers, we've come to the end of another program. May God richly bless you until we meet again next week. Hello, everyone. I am Reverend Gartlyn Arthur Chance, pastor of the Holistic Transformation Ministries at Louis. This is a branch work of the Calvary Road Deliverance Tabernacle under the umbrella of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies. I am also a special education teacher, having taught for 34 years of my life. Bridging the Gaps will be aired on the Tobago Inspirational Network every Saturday at 8 p.m. The program is expected to keep you at the edge of your seat. Join us as we deal with issues relating to the stages of early childhood to adolescence.